Hala Madrid. That's the word that actually spoke concerning the game between Real Madrid versus Manchester City at the Santiago Bernabeu. We just have to give it to that team coming from behind to turn things around over there. And they really show class against Manchester City. So painful. They played their game, but it didn't happen. Welcoming you on the show, 360 Sports on Trust TV. I am Adeni Ajishafe. Well, a lot of Real Madrid fans right now are really celebrating for the fact that they were able to turn things around after trailing Manchester City. It was a good one after Mahrez scored, but Rodrigo getting those two goals almost at the dot of time changed the whole tune of that game just yesterday. Well, we'll be looking at all these stories before we actually wrap it up. Now, let's start from the home scene where Lmc Sanctions MFM Kwara United and also Once Rivers United concerning breach of MPFL rules. The match the 26th between Kwara United, the play against Rivers, and MFM versus Rangers actually ended in fracas. And now LMC rolled out some verdicts concerning that, charging all the two teams, MFM and Kwara United, giving them some penalties there. For MFM, they will be playing their match away from home, and also Kwara United, they've been given some penalties. Well, this is getting too much concerning the MPFL. Teams recently watched this. Just recently, it was Kano Pillars, but now it's Kwara United. MFM and also Rivers being warned concerning the way they talked about other teams. Well, we'll be looking at all this as I unveil my guests in the studio. I have Abdullahi Kabiru, good to have you.
Good to be here once again.
And I have Emmanuel Fashimi, good to be here too.
Good to be here.
Good. Let's start from the home scene. LMC sanctioning these teams, MFM, Kwara United, and also Rivers. I think, like I said earlier, it's getting too common that all these teams, you see fracas after the match or during the match or thereabout. For MFM, for what they did, for Kwara United, for what their players did, and all the officials, this is not really too good for Nigerian football.
Well, definitely, it's not too good for Nigerian football. It's not a healthy one. MFM has been ordered to provide the official that actually attacked the match official, as in the person that attacked the match official in that game. But overall, I've always said this, and I will keep saying this: sanctions are meant for teams to actually be put in check, or to actually sit back and watch their SSs, and also to also put our league in a good light. Now, LMC should go back to the drawing board. The drawing board is already full. The drawing board for me is already full. They should go back to their board meeting or whatever, and then in conjunction with NFF, look for a stiffer penalty. Sanctions, look, the thing is, by the time we increase, for instance, when you deduct like 15 points from a team, I think these are some of the kind of sanctions we should be hearing. When you deduct 15 points and then that team pays a lot of money, ranging from 20 million naira upward to any amount. I think somehow when you hear 15 points will be deducted from the points you've gathered so far in the season, and then you pay so amount, I think clubs will also help to talk to their fans, because sometimes this club don't know when their fans just invade the pitch. And at the same time, you see players, officials, teams officials also attacking the opposition team, or attacking the referee on the pitch of play. Well, for me, they should also go back and check some of these sanctions. Sanctions are meant for as in they are meant to be dished out to teams who erred. But by the time you start giving this, as in these sanctions comes, and this same thing keeps occurring season in, season out. Okay, at some point, I think that was about 3 seasons ago at Ogbomoso, where a referee was being beaten, not just beaten alone. That referee was a machete was used on that referee in Nigerian league. So these are some of the things we shouldn't be witnessing. Now, the LMC, the NNL, the NFF, the Nationwide League needs to go back, sit down, have a round-table meeting, and then know what to do to stamp out this menace in Nigerian league. It's not actually telling good of our league. If other leagues of the world, other players of the world, or hear something of this nature, something that reoccurs in our league, Do you think they would like to come?
Yeah, just to add to what you said, yeah, definitely they should show a zero tolerance for this kind of behavior, because honestly, how can you attack an official? It shouldn't be happening in our league. So it's good, it's highly commendable that they're sanctioning the team, and hopefully even criminal charges possibly, like the individual that attacked the officials should be charged, like maybe taken to prison, like to show that as a deterrence, yeah, so that next time they wouldn't have to tolerate this kind of mad behavior. Because yeah, like you said, how can it look to the international leagues, the Africa, CAF, like if this kind of things happening in Nigeria? Imagine if we are going to host a competition in the future, like this type of things should be dealt with. Honestly, it's unacceptable, man. The one that was attacked by a machete, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. That's in a civilized country, how can that happen, honestly?
Well, we've been talking concerning the MPFL, a lot of issues there about fans being unruly against other teams that actually visit us to play against them. MFM versus Rangers ended in a fracas. In fact, it wasn't a good one. As we speak right now, LMC are saying, okay, you have to pay some money, and also they banished them away from Lagos to Djibouti. People are saying it's too close. They'll have taken them to Maiduguri or thereabout. Seriously.
Very, very close. Okay, like I said on this show last few weeks ago when we were talking about canopilas, you're banishing MFM to Djibouti. What's the kilometer from Lagos to Djibouti? How many minutes drive? Now, for me, they would have taken MFM to a place like Maiduguri that you mentioned, or Sokoto, or thereabout, take them to Adamawa, or you take them to maybe Taraba, as in a distance that when they go, they will know that, yes, you travel 3 days on the road. If they are not going by flight, definitely they go by road. So they will know that, yes, what they've done is not really, it's not good. Now, these sanctions for me are not okay. I will always advocate for stiffer sanctions, harsh ones, so that when they are actually facing these sanctions, it's something that when you go, you see, if you want to get something right, you have to give something tangible. Now, if these clubs are to stop this, if they are to stop this madness of a thing, stiffer sanction should be meted out. MPFL, as in LMC, NFF, should go back and look for ways of stamping out this. And then we, the media, will keep talking. Then through our talking, they should also do theirs. Because you don't make the league viable. Now, a player cannot come from South Africa. A player cannot come from even our neighbor Cameroon. That is a lot of players. We have Cameroonian players playing their trade here. We have Ghanaians and the rest of them. But we want to see more foreign players in our league. It's not just us traveling out to go and play in other European leagues. No, we want to see other persons also coming down here to play. Who says Nigerian league cannot be like that of the cannot be like the Egyptian league, Botola cannot be like the South African league? Yes, we can have that. We can have foreign players.
Just to add to that, like the security as well. I think the security has to be tighter. Like officials have to be more protected, so they shouldn't be intimidated by fans or somebody getting violent, maybe to influence that decision, maybe. So they have to be more protected, maybe invest in more security personnel to avoid this kind of thing. Because honestly, like even like you said, harsher punishment, possibly criminal charges. Because to attack an official or use a machete, that's not criminality. You should be in jail. You can't be a fan.
So if we can have this in place, definitely we'll be heading to somewhere, we'll be heading in the right direction. But for now, I think all the teams that are found guilty of these whole issues should please go back and stop or talk to they should talk to their fans. I think talking seminars
from the way it is right now, I think the best thing to do right now is to talk to each club, go back and talk to your fans. Make sure you sensitize them about a lot of things that needs to be known concerning matches. It's not a do-or-die affair. You can win, even if you lose now, you can still win. After all, it's not possible for you to lose all the 38 matches in a season. So, beating people up, if you are not getting it right, or you are trying to revenge, this would not speak well for our league. We need to stop this right now. That has been the topic. LMC giving stiffer sanctions against all the clubs. MFM of Lagos, not forgetting Kwara United for their acts against Rangers and Rivers United. Although Rivers United also, they've been warned to be careful the way they at least roll out messages. Well, from that, we just have to look at the fact that a lot of fans need to be given understanding concerning how things work. They just can't continue to beat up people, officials or players. It won't speak well of the MPFL. After all, that's our apex league. We don't have any other. We have to do it right. Now we move away from the MPFL. Let's talk about the two other leagues now. Let's quickly start from the Nigerian National League. That was a rescheduled match between Crown FC of Ogbomoso in that game. Quickly look at the result. As Crown FC, they were able to win that game 2-1 against Bayelsa United. They won that game over there in Ogbomoso, winning 2-1 for Crown FC in a rescheduled match in the NNL, Nigerian National League, Week 7. The match that was has been kept for a long time now. And also in the MPFL, a match was also played between Abia Warriors. Abia Warriors was able to win their game also 2-1 against MFM, the same team that we're talking about that actually didn't do well in Lagos. They lost that game away to Abia Warriors 2-1. It ended. And you have to give it up to Abia Warriors, who were able to win that game in the MPFL. Now, now they went to Abia State to play. Imagine if Abia fans should attack MFM now for what happened in Lagos. How would they feel?
They'll start crying foul, not knowing that what they also did to somebody else the same as. But we shouldn't do that. As it stands, they went away to play a game yesterday and they lost 2-1. And we know they are languishing at the bottom of the Nigerian Professional Football League. It has not really been looking rosy for MFM this season in the league. But so far so good. The Nigerian Professional Football League, I love what is going on. The competitiveness is there. Teams are trying to get points for themselves, though we are still crying this crowd violence and whatever we have in the league. But the competitiveness for me this season is top notch. We see teams trying to actually stay put, as in they don't want to drop to that drop zone where they will definitely go and be playing the NNL. But so far so good. Teams has actually shown they have shown resilience. They've shown that intention to stay at the apex league we have here, as in the MPFL. But so far so good. I love the way things are going in the MPFL. Though Rivers United lost, they lost their last game. They are still topping the table. Despite that loss, they didn't drop to the second position. And Plateau United is coming very fast. Remo Stars and Rangers International in that order. But let's see how it will happen at the end of the day in the Nigerian Professional Football League. If we have this competitiveness in our league, it's going to be Uhuru for us.
Good one there. Talking about the MPFL, Nigeria nationally, and also the NNL. All our matches in this country, we need to follow all our games with at least security should be there. We need to do things right. Talking about the leagues, well, we quickly move away. The big one that happened just yesterday night. A lot of people never ever believed that Real Madrid could come back after they were trailing by a lone goal, at least behind Manchester City, scored by Riyad Mahrez in the 73rd minute. But it was a good one from Rodrigo, who actually nipped it in the board in the 98th minute. 2 goals to make it 2-1 before Karim Benzema was able to add the penalty. The sport kick made it 3-1, and they went the extra time actually went on and on till it ended that way. Well, it's ended 6-5 on aggregate, but the main thing is that the Los Merengues, they were able to do unbelievable, Kabir.
Honestly, what a game that was. I couldn't believe all the emotions. They will score, they will concede, they will score at the last minute, they collapsed. When Mahrez scored, we were thinking the match was over. Okay, Man City, they're just about to qualify now, just see the game out. They conceded 90th minute goal. They conceded another one in that same 90th minute. Honestly, unbelievable match, like you said. You know, we keep talking about these things, our mentality, you know, history. These things really matter when it comes to football, because you can see Real Madrid this season, how many times have they been in this position? The game against Chelsea, they were losing. They came back against PSG, similar situation. I don't know. They just don't know when they're defeated. It's like they own this competition, or is it someone is even suggesting maybe they put something in the stadium, jazz or something that because it's hard to believe. Like 2 goals, they didn't have a shot on target all match. Then the 98th minute,
98 minutes
scored, and they scored again from a header. Man City, they lost ideas.
It was very demoralizing because they were already looking at we've won.
The way they celebrated, it was like they were already in the final when they scored that goal. They were like thinking of themselves in the final. Honestly, it was a shocking match.
If you remember, I said it that it's as good that Man City is out of the Champions League in the return leg. And I think you never wanted to believe that. No. You said this is football, and football actually happened yesterday. It was a night of champions, and the champions have shown that they are champions. Now, yesterday's game was one game for me that I never gave up on Real Madrid, I personally. And when it comes to Champions League, as a fan, as a football fan, don't give up on Real Madrid. This is not the first time that Real Madrid will do the comeback. They did it against Wolfsburg, where they lost. That was in 2013. They lost first leg 2-0. Coming back, Ronaldo scored hat-trick, 3 goals in that game. Then Wolfsburg was one of the best teams in Europe. Then they were so good in Bundesliga. But when they met the almighty Real Madrid, they bowed out. They repeated the same feat against Atletico Madrid. So on. You don't look at Real Madrid and say, okay, this team, they are pushover. I've always said this: if you don't want Real Madrid to play in the Champions League final, knock them out from the group stage or from the quarter or second round. If they are out from the second round, then any other team can win the Champions League.
But to be fair, at the same time, like Man City missed so many chances.
Man City missing so many chances. Now, Peter Duris yesterday experienced prevail over resilience, and that was it. Now, for me, the second half of that game, where we were seeing that game, I told somebody the second half of this game is going down to the coaches. The 2 coaches is going to show their class, and Carlo Ancelotti actually showed his class. At some point, we were saying Raheem Sterling should have been introduced in that game early enough because he has this space. You needed a player to keep Real Madrid defense on that, as in keep running to stretch them. Now, what you did, you brought out you brought on Grealish and Fernandinho, and these are 2 players who don't even have speed.
They don't have speed.
Now, what did Carlo Ancelotti do? Rodrigo is a game changer. Over the weekend, where they won their 35th La Liga title, he came on. He scored 2 goals before Benzema actually added his own. Now, what did he do? He knows that the coming of Fernandinho is an advantage for his team. He threw in Rodrigo and
Camavinga.
Yes, I'm coming to Camavinga. What he needs these 2 young guys. Now you have a Fernandinho who don't have that speed. You brought in like a Camavinga who could run, who also have the strength like the City players. And what did he do? Carlo
as well.
Walker was out of the game.
I think they were unlucky as well. If you look at the game, like De Bruyne came off, he wasn't himself.
They were not unlucky.
He had an injury.
They lost the game with their own hands. It's not
no, they have to luck as well.
A team that needed it most
missed a chance. Like
won
the ball
that
was about to enter.
Camavinga, Rodrigo was the game changer. And for me, Pep Guardiola sometimes overthinks his formation.
No, I think people were harsh against Pep Guardiola because what else could he have done? No, 90th minute.
People were not harsh.
Sometimes there's no luck in football. 90th minute, like literally, they did everything right. Brought on Fernandinho, experienced player.
What is the right in there?
Finished the game. 90th
Carlo Ancelotti actually showed that he's a master of Champions League.
Sometimes it's the players.
He is the coach that has won all in the 5 top European leagues. He has won titles there. So what you are coming up a Pep Guardiola who has not even won titles just in Spain, in Germany, and then in England.
And you have to look at
for a man who has won all of the whole 5 top European leagues. So for me, Real Madrid is as good as lifting the title.
If you look at the team as well, so many of them in that Real Madrid team, this is like their 3rd, 4th, 5th Champions League final. They've They've been there, done that. They have the experience.
That is why I said experience prevail over resilience.
So
City were resilient. Real Madrid was experienced, and they prevailed.
But resilience in what way?
Benzema scoring his 43rd goal of the season in all competition. For the first time, this man, we thought when Ronaldo left, they would not be able to do the comeback. And they did the comeback. Against Chelsea, they did it.
But they've won yet.
They've won the 5th time against an English opposition.
We should calm
down. They would
have
done that against Chelsea.
They haven't won yet.
They were not luck in the return leg. They lost, but they still prevailed on goals.
Calm down. They haven't, just to calm the whole issue down.
They haven't won yet.
Manchester City, to you, they played very well.
They played well.
And I overheard you saying people are harsh on
Guardiola. Yeah, honestly, because...
Can you explain that?
Honestly, you have to look at the whole over 2 legs. What more could this guy have done? He brought off De Bruyne. Like, people have this theory that he overthinks things, but he played his full strength 11 last night. If you look at player for player, their best 11 last year, he played all of them. He brought off some substitutions. De Bruyne, he wasn't himself. Maybe he had an injury. He brought him off. Fernandinho, experienced player. You need this type of players in that situation. That was their former captain. Sterling, okay, Grealish actually did well when he came on. You remember his chances. Honestly, luck played a part last night. And
there was no
Real Madrid. No. If
I don't want to believe that it was
with
luck
Real Madrid,
that took Real Madrid.
If like, it's not like they have. We need to calm down. They haven't won it yet. Liverpool could actually trash them in the final. Honestly, the way they played.
No, let's leave
exactly.
The final. So we're talking about yesterday. So, and I want to make it clear why you actually said people are harsh on Guardiola.
Yeah. Honestly.
Because if you look at the amount of money that Manchester City have actually spent to buy these players, the likes of Grealish, with the amount of money they spent to get him from Villa.
I'm aware.
And then you look at the experience and calmness of Ancelotti. Guardiola is obsessed with UEFA Champions League.
Oh, yeah.
Manchester City hierarchy, obsessed with UEFA Champions League. The same thing happening to PSG too. And when you are kind of obsessed with something,
you don't get it.
You try everything you know. I'm sure yesterday he would get on and be like, what happened?
Exactly. No, I'm aware of that, but I mean, the overthinking things, like last season, they said when he didn't play DM in that final, if you remember, he played Gundogan instead of that one. Clearly, it was an error. But this time around, if you look at his decisions, maybe you could argue. You could that's arguable. That's arguable because he brought on Grealish instead of Sterling. That's an arguable decision. But honestly, if you look at the game, like sometimes the players, they just capitulated. 90th minute, who would have expected them to score and concede again?
But when you are playing against a team like Real Madrid, who you know they've won it 13 times before the game, you need to know, you need to remember that this team, they don't give up when it comes to champions. They see it as if it's their own in the whole Europe.
If you remember in the first leg when they missed some chances, even though they were at 3-1 up or something, he was still complaining because even him too, he was thinking in his mind, we need to kill this game off Pep Guardiola. Honestly, I think people were a bit harsh on him, but at the same time, Ancelotti, yes, with his experience, Real Madrid, they've been there, they've done it multiple times. So, look, Man City are not a big club that used to win in Champions League. This is their 3rd time in the semi-final. Last year was the 1st time in the final in their history. They're playing against a team that have won it since their great-grandparents.
But they got to the final, the semi-final. So
they got to the semi-final, but it doesn't, that's not how football works. Honestly, they might still win the league this season, the 4th time in 5 years. If it's about leaving a legacy, he has left something behind at Manchester City.
But he won the Champions League.
Yes, and that the question mark that still remains is about that Champions League. Maybe was it really him or was it the players, Messi, Xavi, Iniesta? He had some great players at Barcelona. That question mark will still remain there, and that's understandable. But for last night, I think people are a bit harsh on him. Honestly, the decisions he made.
I don't really want to agree with that. Now, you are playing against a team that has won this particular competition 13 times. Now, the first substitution he made was he wasn't supposed to throw in Fernandinho.
Who was he?
He was supposed to bring in a Raheem Sterling.
When you're leading 1-0.
Whether leading 1-0. See, the best form of defense is to what? Attack. You needed somebody who would keep that defense running. And you brought in a player who will slow things down, who doesn't have... Okay, in the first leg, Fernandinho caused I think the second goal of that particular encounter. He was beaten with pace from who? Vinicius Jr. Now, the same mistake you made in the first leg of bringing in this man, you repeated the same thing. You want to defend a 1 goal against the Whites? No. Now, I expected a Raheem Sterling to come in and Jack Grealish. Then maybe from 80-something minutes, the 85th minute, you can bring in a Fernandinho to calm things down. And now what did Carlo Ancelotti? Immediately he brought in a Fernandinho. This man threw in Rodrigo. The next thing, he brought in Camavinga. Yeah. Camavinga is a young man who has the pace. Yeah, he can move this ball. Yeah. And what he did, he knows that Fernandinho don't have that pace at the midfield. So this, if he wins the ball, then definitely you know something is going. Okay, what's that penalty?
Yeah.
Fernandinho was beaten with pace. He was supposed to track Camavinga down, but because of pace, and that true pass came in.
But to be fair,
and you don't play with Benzema when he's inside the 18. For me, Man City is not right.
They did well.
Not right to win the Champions League. That's not it. Until Man City is ripe, Man City and PSG, until they are ripe to win the Champions League, then we will know.
How long
maybe in the next 3 seasons,
how long did it take Chelsea?
We have to go now.
How long did it take Chelsea before they won?
Good one. It's been a wonderful time in the studio where at least Abdullahi Kabira has been talking for Manchester City and Emmanuel Fashimi has been talking for Los Merengues. Good one there. But according to him, they are yet to at least be ripe for Champions League. We wait to see what's going to happen between Liverpool and Real Madrid. Talking about the match there, the final will be coming up. Let's see who wins between the Giants, who has won it 13 times, and Liverpool, who never ever walk alone. We wait to see that. It's been a wonderful time with Abdullahi Kabiru and Emmanuel Fashimi. Thank you very much.
It's been a great pleasure.
Seriously.
But Madrid is winning the 14th title.
There's no guarantee. We'll wait and see.
Okay.
No, there, we have to go now. Yeah, wonderful time in the studio. I am Madeni Ajishafe. Thanks for watching.